Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Screen is visible to everyone? Okay, so let's start. So I am Khushbu Chotri, your PMRFTA for the course in Introductory Organic Chemistry 2, and the course instructor for this course are Professor Nirja Dashaputre and Professor Harinath Chakrapani from ISER Pune. So in this week, we will study about aldol reactions and various types of aldol reactions. And before that, we will study about acidity. So let's start. So, what is an acid or a base? So, the basic definition tells us that acid. So, an acid is a species that have tendency to lose the proton. For example, if we have HCl, on losing proton, it will form H positive plus Cl negative. So, any species that has tendency to lose proton will act as an acid. And a base is a species that has tendency to accept the proton. For example, hydroxide ion on accepting the proton will form water. So this can act as base. Now how we will define the pH scale and how we will define the pKa, that we have to see. Now pH scale will tell us about the amount of hydronium ion in any solution water. And pH simply tells us about the concentration of hydronium ion on a logarithmic scale. And it is the characteristic of any aqueous acid. So that means if we are talking about pH, that means we are dissolving that acid in water. And in water, how many hydronium ion concentration it can produce, that will tell us that pH will tell us about that. And the pH will depend on what type of acid it is, whether it is a strong acid or a weak acid. If it is a strong acid, then the pH will be more, or we can say the pH will be like close to 0. That means there is more concentration of hydronium ions. And it also depends on the concentration of the acid that you are using. So pH is defined as the negative logarithm of hydronium ion concentration. So pH is minus log of H3O positive concentration. So therefore it depends on the um, whether the acid is strong or weak, or also it depends on the concentration of acid you are taking. So pH generally we will, the scale pH scale ranges from 0 to 14, and 7 is the neutral pH, that is for water. Now if we increase the pH from 7 to 14, basic strength of, or we can say the basic strength of the species will increase. If it is close to 7, then it is weakly basic. If it is close to 14, then it is strongly basic. And if we are moving from 7 to 0 pH, then acidic character will increase, or acidic strength of that species will increase. So near to 7 is your weakly acidic, towards 0, and if it is close to 0, then it is the strongly acidic species. Now how we will define pKa? So pKa is that pH at which acid and its conjugate base are present in equal concentration. Now first, what is conjugate base? So after releasing of proton, whatever species you are getting, that is the conjugate base of that acid. For example, if we have Ha as an acid and we are dissolving it in water, so on dissolving water, it will release this H positive ions. So we will get hydronium ion concentration and, sorry, hydronium ions and A negative. That is the conjugate base of that acid Ha. Species that is produced after loss of proton from an acid is its conjugate base. So here this Ha is acid and A negative is your conjugate base. So pKa is that pH at which a acid concentration becomes equal to its conjugate base concentration. So pKa is defined as negative logarithm of Ka. Ka is the dissociation constant of the acid and is defined as product of concentration of products in the dissociation reaction divided by concentration of your acid. Water we are using in excess, so that concentration we can consider as constant. So this is Ka, and if you take the negative logarithm of this Ka, you will get pKa. So here two examples are given, HCl and acetic acid. HCl, Ka is 10 raised to power 7. Now we can see that as the Ka will increase, so your pKa will decrease. So for an strong acid, pKa will be lower, and weak acid pKa will be higher. Those values also we will see in table. For acetic acid, pKa is very, sorry, Ka is very less, that means pKa will be high. So for, if pKa will increase, then the acidity of your species will decrease. Now acids pKa depends on the stability of conjugate base also. If the acid is stronger, that means its conjugate base is weak. And if A negative, we can say the A negative is the conjugate base, the base is stronger, that means its conjugate acid is weak, AH is weak. So we can say, see this from this table, we have H2SO4, HCl and HI. If we are talking about its conjugate base, so the species formed after the loss of proton from H2SO4, if H positive will leave, so we will get HSO4 negative, that is its conjugate base. Similarly, from HCl, we will get Cl negative, Hi, we will get I negative. Now, pKa of these acids is given to you -3, -7, -10. That means Hi is the strongest acid that can deprotonate anything, or that like it can protonate anything. Then, if we will consider about hydronium ion, H2O, H2S, so their conjugate base is water, hydroxide ion, and SH negative. And here the pKa will increase. That means the acidity will decrease. If we are comparing nitrogen acids as compared to oxygen acids, nitrogen acids are having more pKa. That means they are weaker acid than the oxygen one. Now, if we will see this table, if carboxylic acid has a pKa of 5, then nitromethanes 9. If we have amide 15, aldehyde 17, ketone 20, esters 25, nitriles 25, amides 30, alkanes near about 50. So the carboxylic acids are strongest acid, and alkanes we can say are the weakest acid, because there is no factor to stabilize the conjugate base formed from the deprotonation of alkanes. Whereas where your pK is less or lower pK is there, there are some factors that will stabilize the counter anion, or we can say its conjugate base. For example, in carboxylic acid or in nitro group or in amides, if we will deprotonate that, for example here in case of nitromethane, if this CH3 one proton will be lost, so the species, that negative charge whatever is formed on the conjugate base, is stabilized by the conjugation with the nitro group. So the species, or we can say the acids that are stronger, have some factors of conjugation or some stability factors that will stabilize the conjugate base, and that's why their acids are strong comparison to the others. Similarly, in the case of nitrile also, when conjugate base will form, this negative charge is stabilized by conjugation with this nitrile group, that is making it more acidic. And there are some compounds, we called it as active methylene compounds, that are present, or we can say the CH2 present between two electron withdrawing groups, we will call it as active methylene. For example, beta diketone, they have a higher like lower pKa, that means they are more acidic. So in case of beta ketone, 1,3 diketone, this CH2 or these two protons can be easily removed by base, and whatever species we will get or the negative charge we will get is stabilized by conjugation on both sides. So that's why these protons are very much acidic and their pKa will be lower. Similarly, beta keto esters, one side is ketone and other side is ester. And beta diesters, on both sides ester group is there. In that case also, we will see this active methylene compound is very much acidic, or that CH2 protons are very much acidic. Is this clear?
Can you repeat once again?
Okay. Now, let us discuss about aldol reactions and the related reactions to that. So, up to now, whatever reactions we have seen, your carbonyl compound is acting as an electrophile, and we are treating it with some nucleophiles to do addition reactions or some sort of reactions. Now, we will do, or we want this carbonyl compound to act as a nucleophile. So, for that, its enol or enolate form will act as nucleophile. And how we will generate that? If we are treating our carbonyl compound with base, then the alpha protons or alpha hydrogens of carbonyl compound are acidic. So your base will abstract this alpha hydrogen and enolate will generate. If anion is generating, that is enolate, and if that that get protonated, then the species is generated is enol. So this enolate is nucleophilic at the carbon center, and it can easily attack some carbon electrophiles. For example, here alkyl halides. So we will get this nucleophilic addition product on of this carbonyl compound. Now, the important reaction of this sort is aldol reaction. So, for in aldol reaction, what we have let us take the example of acetaldehyde, and we are treating it with NaOH base. Now, in this case, only one side only alpha protons or hydrogens are there. So, base will take this alpha hydrogen, and enolate ion will generate first. So base will take the proton, this bond will shift here, and pi bond will shift to oxygen. That is the more electronegative atom. Then this enolate ion, once it's generated, this is in equilibrium, and enolate is in lesser concentration, and the species or the in its environment, more of the non-enolizable acetaldehyde will be present. So when this enolate will form, it will further react with the unenolized aldehyde, that is acetaldehyde. So how it will react? This O negative, these electrons will fall back and attack through the pi bond on the carbonyl carbon will take place. And after protonation through water, we will get this aldol. Aldol is beta hydroxy ketone or beta hydroxyaldehyde. So this is alpha, this is beta. At beta position, we have hydroxy group. So beta hydroxy ketones or aldehydes, we will call it as aldol. Now, in this reaction, hydroxide ion, whatever we are using, is released in the last step. That means only catalytic amount of base is needed, and that will serve its purpose and will released in the last step. Now, why these aldol reactions are so much important? Because of the formation of the carbon-carbon bond that is formed uh, when your nucleophilic enolate attacks the electrophilic aldehyde. So this enolate is nucleophilic and it is attacking on electrophilic aldehyde to form the carbon-carbon bond. That's why these reactions are important. Now, if we will see the mechanism of this reaction, so the first step is the enolization step, where your base will abstract the alpha hydrogen and enolate will generate. So this is the enolization step where your enolate is forming. And then second step is the attack of this enolate on the second molecule of your carbonyl compound. And after hydration, you will get your beta hydroxy ketone. Now, if we as we saw in the last slide, that only catalytic amount of base is sufficient for this reaction to take place. What if we are using excess amount of base in the reaction? If we are using excess amount of base, then through even CB mechanism, your dehydration product you will get. So this is the aldol product in case of aldehyde and ketones. And if you are treating it with excess base, then after the loss of water, you will get this dehydrated product, or we can say alpha beta unsaturated ketones or aldehydes as the product. Now mechanism we will see. So we saw that first step is the enolization step, how the base excess base is there and these alpha protons are now acidic. So base will take the alpha hydrogens and then enolate will generate. Then these electrons will fall back to remove the hydroxyl group here, and you will get this dehydrated product. And for dehydration, we need stronger bases or higher temperature, or we need to keep the reaction for the longer time so that this dehydration will take place completely and we will get the this dehydrated product as the major product. Then if we want a dehydration product, then it is easier to do this reaction in the acid solution than in the base catalyzed reaction. Why? Because in acid catalyzed reaction, what will happen? Your acid will protonate the carbonyl carbon, and then enol will generate. Although enols are lesser reactive than enolates or lesser nucleophilic than enolates, but because your this ketone is already protonated in the acidic condition, so this enol can easily react this more electrophilic carbonyl compound that is formed because of the protonation by the acid, and then you will get this beta hydroxy ketone, your aldol product. And in this case also your acid is released at the last step, and that's why it is also needed in the catalytic amount. Now once this aldol product was generated, acid is already there in the system, so this or we can say hydroxy group was protonated by the acid, and a more stable leaving group will generate. Once this leaving group will leave, you will get a tertiary carbocation. And then after the loss of proton, you will get this alpha beta unsaturated ketone. So in case of acid catalyzed dehydration, that mechanism it will follow is even elimination, where your carbocation will generate first and then loss of proton will leads to the formation of alpha beta unsaturated ketone. Whereas in the base catalyzed dehydration step, even CB mechanism will be there. First, base will take the alpha protons and then enolate will generate, which will fall back to give to help the leaving group to leave to give you the same product. So base catalyzed aldol reaction may give aldol product, but if you are using it in excess, then through even CB mechanism you will get the dehydrated eno. And in acid catalyzed reaction, you in this case also you can get the aldol product, but usually it will give dehydrated enones by an even mechanism. Now if we will discuss about the aldol, now whatever aldol reactions we have discussed so far is for the symmetrical ketones, where self condensation is taking place. Only one type of enolates or enols can generate, and that can attack on the same aldehyde or ketone whatever we are using for generating them, and we will get the self condensation product. Now let us discuss about aldol reactions of unsymmetrical ketones, those ketones where only one site is enolizable and other site is blocked. Maybe it is tertiary carbon, or some other groups are present that cannot be enolized. So one such example is present here, where your ketone, on one side it is CH3 and other side is the tertiary carbon or tertiary group that cannot be enolized because no protons are there. Similarly, if we have this aryl ketones, here also this sp2 carbons can't be hydrolyzed because there is no alpha proton that is present at that position. So base will take the alpha proton from only one side and then enolate will generate. So first step is the enolization and enolate will generate. Then when it will react with the same species or self condensation it will do, so you will get this beta hydroxy keto. Similarly, we can use this lactone where one alpha protons or on one side oxygen is present and no alpha protons was there. Then base will take the proton from the other side or only side that can be enolizable, that is this alpha position, and enolate of this lactone will generate. After this enolate formation, it will react, these electrons will fall, and through carbon, it will attack on the electrophilic lactone carbon, and this oxide will generate, which on protonation will give you the aldol product. Now, if we are considering its dehydration step, so base will take the alpha proton as we saw in the previous cases, and through even CB mechanism, elimination will take place. But because more acidic protons are present on hydroxy group also, so the mechanism can proceed this way also, that this O negative or proton will be abstracted by base from this hydroxyl group, and this electrons will fall and this ring opening will take place. Now after this ring formation, as this group is or this side chain is attached to the mm, other ring, so the after this formation also it will revert back to give you that product, and then through even CB mechanism the same reaction will take place to give you the product, final product, because from this elimination can't take place further, or this nucleophilic anion cannot escape this molecule. Then cross condensation reactions, so those reactions where reaction occurs between two different carbonyl compounds. One of the carbonyl compound is acting as a nucleophile in its enol or enolate forms, and other is acting as an electrophile. So such type of reactions we will call as cross condensation reactions. One of the example is given here, that if we have this benzaldehyde and substituted benzaldehyde and this ketone, and we are treating it with base in the presence of water and ethanol as the solvent, so we will get this dehydrated product. Now if we will see on this aldehyde, there is no alpha protons are present here, no alpha protons are there, and in case of ketones only one side alpha protons are present. So there is only one enolate that will generate, only one possible enolate will be generated. So base will take the alpha protons, and your only possible enolate that will generate is this one. So after the enolization, what is the next step? It will attack on the aldehyde. Now this enolate will attack the aldehyde, and after protonation you will get this beta hydroxy ketone, and further base will abstract the alpha proton, enolate will generate, that will revert back through even CB mechanism to give you the alpha beta unsaturated ketone. Now in this case, why we didn't see any self condensation product? First, because ketones, and among ketones and aldehydes are more reactive, so once the enolate will generate, aldehyde will be is the more reactive species that will or that will react with this. And while doing such kind of reactions, we will dissolve our ketones and aldehydes in the same equivalents in the same reaction mixture, so the concentration of the aldehyde and the ketone that is present after the enolization of the ketone will be same. So aldehyde being more reactive, your enolate will react with aldehyde and not with the ketone. Similarly, they are telling here that in this case no alpha proton was there, and in this case only one alpha protons was there. So the reaction will take place through this one. So base will take the alpha protons from acetaldehyde, and then that enolate will attack on this carbonyl carbon to give you the dehydrated product or beta hydroxyketone. And this self condensation will not take place because aldehydes are more reactive. Sorry, in this case your ketone is conjugated and it is not very much reactive than your aldehyde. So in this case you may get self condensation product rather than this cross condensation product. So cross condensation only take place when your the other carbonyl compound that you are using must be more reactive than the species that we are using for enolization. So in this case, your enolate that is generated will react further with this aldehyde only because aldehydes are more reactive. Clear?
Ma'am, can you please explain the reason why aldehydes are more reactive than ketones? Like, what's the
Sorry.
gist of it? Like, can you please explain why aldehydes are more reactive than ketones?
In case of ketones, when hydrogen is replaced by carbon, and carbon has a higher tendency to donate the electrons to the carbonyl carbon, where in comparison to the protons, so they are less electrophilic than that of the aldehydes. Through plus I effect, your two carbons present at the alpha positions of ketone will provide electron density. In case of ketone, and here we have aldehyde. Two groups are there that will increase the electron density on the carbonyl carbon through plus I effect. But here only one group is there. So this is more electrophilic. And the ketone is less electrophilic.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, that is
Yeah.
based on plus I effect. You are judging it.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Got it. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Then let us, so for successful cross aldol reaction to take place, your only one partner must be enolized or capable of enolization, and other partner must be incapable of enolization and should be more electrophilic than the enolizable partner. Otherwise it will, if that is less electrophilic, it will undergo self condensation rather than the cross condensation. Now the next reaction that we have to study is the Mannich reaction. So before studying Mannich reaction, let us consider one more example where your cross aldol reaction will take place between acetaldehyde and formaldehyde. Now, among acetaldehyde and formaldehyde, we know that only acetaldehyde is enolized and formaldehyde is more reactive than that of the acetaldehyde, because in case of formaldehyde, two hydrogens are there that are connected to the this carbon, and in case of acetaldehyde your one CH3 was there that will provide electron density to the carbonyl carbon and making it less electrophilic. So firstly base will abstract the alpha proton from the acetaldehyde and this enolate will generate, and this is the only possible enolate that will generate in this reaction. Once this enolate was formed, then it will attack on the formaldehyde that is more electrophilic, and you will get this aldol product. Now in the problem with formaldehyde is that it is so much reactive that this reaction will not stop at this stage. So what will happen again, alpha protons was abstracted by base through this aldol product, and then enolate will generate, and this enolate will further react with formaldehyde to give you the second aldol product, and further third aldol reaction will take place to give you this third aldol product. Now, base is there and this aldehyde is further reactive. So, what will happen? This reaction will not stop here, and your base will react with, or we can say this formaldehyde will react with base to form a more reactive species. So, this species will generate, and this tetrahedral species will react with your aldehyde in a sort of way as your borohydride reduction will take place. Sodium borohydride or this boranes will react in same sort of reaction. This reaction will take place where your hydride will reduce this aldehyde, and you will get this penta erythrol product. So this reaction where one species get oxidized and other species get reduced, we will get as product. We will call this reaction as Cannizzaro reaction, where you have ketone, or generally we can write, we have ketones and we have formaldehyde. So one product we will get as oxidized product, and other one we will get as reduced product. So this reaction we will call it as, in the presence of base this reaction will take place, Cannizzaro reaction. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. So here this aldehyde was there. So base will attack on this aldehyde to form this hydrate anion, and then deprotonation will take place to form the hydrate dianion. Now this is very much reactive to react on the aldehyde or ketone, and your carboxylate anion will generate and alcohol will generate. So one species get oxidized and other species get reduced. Then how we will deal with this formaldehyde problem? So the general solution to using formaldehyde in an aldol reaction is to use the Mannich reaction. So in case of Mannich reaction, what we will do, we have a ketone and we are treating it with formaldehyde in the presence of amine and catalytic amount of acid. So we will get this alpha beta amino ketones. Now mechanism of this reaction will be as follows. So first, amines was treat or amines and formaldehyde was mixed in the reaction vessel. So your amine will react with formaldehyde. So nitrogen lone pair will attack on the electrophilic carbonyl carbon and O negative. This species will generate first. After protonation, we will get this. Then acid we will add, and acid will protonate this hydroxyl group, and the nitrogen lone pair internally will remove this water. So we will get this imine salt. Once this imine salt will formed, then we will add our ketone, and ketone in the presence of acid will form this enol, and this enol will react with this imine that is more electrophilic, and you will get this product. Now if we want to remove this amine from here, so what we can do, we can treat it with methyl iodide. So this ammonium salt will form, and after formation base is there in the system, so it will take the alpha protons, and through even Cb mechanism you will get this alpha beta unsaturated ketone. Now here this alkene was present in the like outside the ring, so we will call them as exomethylene compounds, where your double bond was present outside the ring. Is this mechanism clear? Any doubt?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Now let us discuss about the specific enol equivalents that can be used to control the aldol reactions. Now, what are the specific enol equivalents? So these are the intermediates that have where your enolates and the enols that are generated are reactive enough, but they are stable also, so that we can generate them in the good yield and we can store them to perform before performing the aldol reactions. So one such derivatives are oxygen derivatives, silyl enol ether, that has the reactivity of enols. That means they are less reactive. Then your enolates, for example lithium enolates. So if you are comparing lithium enolates with enol ether, so lithium enolates are more reactive than the silyl enol ether. And the nitrogen derivatives are enamine and azinolates. And 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds we will also use, that we will see, where enolate anion and enols, how it will react. So these are the specific enol equivalents, and let us see how these will react in the aldol reaction, or how we will generate them. So lithium enolates in aldol reaction. So we have this enolizable carbonyl compound, and we are treating it with LDA. Lithium diisopropyl amine. So this LDA, because of the presence of this bulky isopropyl groups, it is a bulky base. So whenever you have LDA in your reaction, you should keep this in mind, that it is a bulky base, so it will abstract proton from less hindered site. In this case only one site is present, so the base will take firstly base will coordinate, because lithium is positively charged species, so oxygen can coordinate with lithium. So your base will coordinate first with the oxygen, and then internally it will take the proton from the alpha position to form this lithium enolate. Once this lithium enolate will generate, now if it wants to react with the same species, then that reaction is slow. So we can add another carbonyl compound from the outside, so that it will react with that species, or that is that whatever compound we are adding, that should be more electrophilic. So firstly carbonyl compound on reacting with LDA, it will form this lithium enolate. This reaction is fast, but its further self condensation product was slow. So we can add one more carbonyl compound. For example, here they added benzaldehyde. So this benzaldehyde carbonyl carbon, carbonyl oxygen will also coordinate with lithium, and then internal this bond will shift here. This carbon will attack the carbonyl carbon, and this oxygen will take the lithium. So this, through this cyclic mechanism, we will get the aldol lithiated product, and then on workup, aqueous workup, we will get this beta hydroxy ketone. Similarly, if we have this ketone and we are treating it with LDA, so it will take the proton from the less hindered site, and only one enolizable proton was there. So this enolate will generate. Then we will add the other electrophile, in this case this aldehyde. So then this lithium will coordinate with this carbonyl carbon, and then this bond will shift here, it will attack on this, and this carbonyl carbon will take that lithium, and through work, after workup, we will get this aldol product. How this lithium enolate will generate and how it will react, is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Now the other this aldol equivalence is silyl enol ether. So silyl enol ether will be formed if we are treating carbonyl compound with base triethylamine, and then quench it with trimethylsilyl chloride, TMSCl. So how this reaction will take place? Your base will take the alpha proton, and enolate will first generate. Then we have TMSCl in this. So this O negative. Oxygen is silicon is oxophilic. Silicon oxygen bond is very much stable. So oxygen will attack the silicon, and this chloride will leave. So you will get this silyl enol ether. And silyl enol ether are reactive, but they are less reactive than lithium enolates. And if they want to participate in aldol reaction, so we need further some Lewis acid catalyst. For example, we will use the titanium compound TiCl4, that is very much popular. So this is Mukiyama aldol reaction, we will call it as. So this silylenol ether was reacted with other reactive carbonyl compound in presence of TiCl4, Lewis acid. So what will happen? This carbonyl compound, benzaldehyde, will first coordinate with the TiCl4, and then your silylenol ether will react, and after workup you will get the aldol product. Mechanism, let us see. So firstly, your benzaldehyde will coordinate with TiCl4. So here, this is your benzaldehyde and we have TiCl4. So oxygen will attack on titanium and one of the Cl negative will leave. So this more reactive electrophilic species will form. And then oxygen lone pair will fall back to attack on this electrophilic carbon, and you will get this species. Then the Cl negative that is generated will attack the silicon and neutralize the positive charge on the oxygen, and then Cl negative will attack on titanium, and then O negative is generated that will attack with the TMSCl to give this, to we will get this product. Then after workup, water can attack this silicon to form the hydroxyl group there. So if we have ketone and we are treating it with base in the presence of TMSCl, we will get this silyl enol ether that in the presence of some Lewis acid will react with other reactive aldehyde to give you this beta hydroxy ketone. And if we want to remove this, then we can do this reaction in the some acid condition. TiCl4 is not enough acidic to remove this hydroxyl group, so we need a stronger acid. So here they are using this paratoluene sulfonic acid. So this on protonation, and after the loss of proton will give you this dehydrated product. Is this clear?
Ma'am, one more thing. How is this TiCl3 able to get out of there and then it forms OSIMe3? That part can you repeat?
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, like what I'm saying is like at the first we are saying OTICL3 bond has been formed, right? So
Yeah.
how instead of O to TiCl3, how this OSIMe3 bond is being formed? Like how that process takes place?
Okay. So when this Cl negative is here, you are asking, right?
No, ma'am, the second step.
This one.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Okay. So when this Cl negative, this
yeah.
this product is formed, or I will explain you again.
Okay, ma'am.
See, first benzaldehyde will react with your TiCl4 to form this electrophilic species. Then your oxygen lone pair will fall to attack this electrophilic carbon, and then OTiCl4, OTiCl3 will form. So this species will form. Then Cl negative will generate in the reaction. Cl negative will remove this silicon to neutralize the positive charge on the oxygen. So you will get this compound. Now, to remove this TiCl3, again Cl negative will attack and this O negative will generate. Because O negative and TMS is there in the system, so this O negative will attack on the silicon to give you this compound. Clear?
Okay, ma'am. Clear. Yeah, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Then, okay, specific enol equivalents that is formed from 1,3-dicarbonyl compounds. If we have this ethyl acetoacetate, so this is in equilibrium with this enol form, and this enol form is more stable as we discussed earlier because of the hydrogen bonding and the conjugation present in this system. Similarly, if we have 1,3-diesters, in that case also your enol form is more stable, but it is like in comparison to keto esters, This is less enolizable because of the less conjugation provided by the ester groups. So these esters, how we will react or we will use them in the aldol reaction. So we will treat it with some aldehyde in the presence of some amines and acid. So you will get this dehydrated diester compounds. Now how this reaction is taking place? So we have this active methylene compound and we have base, this amine. So base will abstract the alpha proton and it will generate the enol. Now, once this enol will form, sorry, or we can say this enolate will generate. And through enol form also, after the abstraction of proton from this oxygen, this enolate of diethyl malonate will generate. Once this enolate was formed, it will react with aldehyde, that is electrophilic, to form this O negative species, and acid is there, it will get protonated, so you will get this aldol intermediate. Now, again, your alpha proton at the active methylene position is acidic. So, base will abstract this proton, and again, your enolate will generate, and then this hydroxyl group will leave through even CB mechanism, and you will get this unsaturated product. So in the case of esters, you will get this unsaturated product as the major product, and reaction will not stop at this aldol product, aldol intermediate stage, because of the presence of the alpha proton that is very much acidic. Is this clear? Okay, let's move further. So now,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
we have malonic acid and we are treating it with aldehyde in the presence of piperidine and pyridine, this is piperidine and this is pyridine. These combination of bases we are using, then we will get this decarboxylation product. So how this reaction is taking place? Similar mechanism. Firstly, base will take the alpha proton, uh, and before that your carboxylic acid is more acidic, so base will take this carboxylate proton and carboxylate anion will generate, and then alpha protons abstraction will take place to give you this stable hydrogen bonded delocalized dianion. Once this generated, it will react with the aldehyde, and O negative will abstract the proton, and you will get this species. Now, once this species will generate, so after protonation you will after decarboxylation you will get this alkanoic acid, and transalkene are more stable, so in this case E product will be major product. So how this reaction is taking place? So this OH will form. Now this bond will shift here, your CO2 will release, and then again this bond shift here and hydroxide will leave. So water is releasing, CO2 is releasing. So dehydration and decarboxylation are taking place in the same step, and you will get this alkene. So in case of dicarboxylic acids, you will get the transalkene as the major product. And how we can control the reaction, aldol reactions of esters? For that, we can use the lithium enolates of the ester or enolethers of the esters. So again, LDA on treating with this esters will form the lithium enolate of ester, which on reaction with acetaldehyde or any aldehyde will give you the beta hydroxy esters. Similarly, LDA and then reaction with TMSCl. So silyl ether will form, and in the presence of some Lewis acid, it will react with aldehyde to give you the beta hydroxy esters. Lewis acids are necessary for reaction of silyl ether. So one example is given here, that this ester is there, alpha proton is present, LDA will abstract the proton, and this lithium enolate will generate first. So your LDA will take the proton, this will shift here and this will go. So this O negative will take the lithium from the LDA. Or we can say your ester will first coordinate with the lithium of the LDA, and internal abstraction of proton will take place to give you this in lithium enolate. It's better to show this in this way. That first lithium will coordinate here, and here it is N negative and isopropyl groups. So this, then this nitrogen or this bond will take the proton, and this will shift here and this will give this species lithium enolate. Then once the lithium enolate will generate, it will react with aldehyde. So this bond will shift here and this will attack the aldehyde to give you this beta hydroxy ester. Now one such reaction that we can use instead of this lithium enolates is the reformatsky reaction, where we have alpha bromo esters, and we are treating it with zinc. So zinc will give electrons to the oxygen, and this bond will shift here and leaving group is present that will leave. So here zinc enolate will form. When zinc positive was there, Br negative will attack, and this zinc enolate will form first. After the formation of this zinc enolate, it will react with aldehyde. Similar kind of reaction or mechanism was there, where oxygen of aldehyde will coordinate with zinc, and then internal through cyclic mechanism your this species will generate first, and on hydrolysis you will get this beta hydroxy ester. So reformatsky reaction is you are treating your alpha bromo esters with aldehyde in presence of zinc, and you will we will get beta hydroxy esters. So we have seen that ester enol equivalents are, we can use lithium enolates or silyl enol ethers or zinc enolates. These are the equivalent enol equivalents for aldol reaction. Now, how we can control aldol reactions on aldehydes? After esters, let us discuss about aldehydes. So we have already seen that lithium enolates or silyl enol ethers can be used to control these reactions. So base will abstract the proton, and after the formation of this silyl enol ether, we can react it with some aldehydes to give you this in the presence of some Lewis acid. We will get this product beta hydroxyaldehyde. And if we are using this isobutyraldehyde or 3-phenyl propanol, where no bulkiness was there or less bulkiness was there, in that case mixture of product we will get for cross coupling reactions or for self condensation products. That is the problem with the aldehydes, because aldehyde is more reactive, and self condensation product we can get easily. And other useful specific enol equivalents for aldehydes and ketones are enamines and azanolates. We have already seen about lithium enolates and this silyl enol ethers. Now let us discuss about enamines and azanolates. So we have aldehyde, and we are treating it with some primary amine in the presence of some Lewis acid. So what will happen? So your amine will react with aldehyde and it will form this imine first. Then we are treating it with base LDA. So alpha proton abstraction will take place, and this lithium aza enolate will generate. Once this will form, we will react it with some other aldehyde. So oxygen will coordinate first with lithium, and then through cyclic mechanism, this electrons will fall here. It will attack on the electrophilic carbonyl carbon, and OLI species will generate. So this will form. And on hydrolysis, OH will form, and imine hydrolysis will give you the aldol product. And if further acid we will add, then dehydration will give you the alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde. So if we have aldehydes and we are reacting it with amine to form the azainolate and further reacting it with other aldehyde, so on hydration we are using acid, so we will get alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde. Reaction will not stop at aldol product. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Now, intramolecular aldol reactions are also possible. For example, if we have this cyclodeca 1,6-dione, here four positions are there that can be enolizable. And all the four, this is a symmetrical molecule, so all fours are equivalent. So once this enol will generate, or this enolization will take place, then it can internally attack this carbonyl carbon, and intramolecular aldol reaction will take place. After dehydration you will get this product. So in this case, if 5 or 6 membered ring will form in case of intramolecular aldol reaction, that will be preferable over 3 membered ring, 4 membered ring, or higher membered ring like 8 or 13 membered ring. So whenever intramolecular aldol reaction is possible in any case, then you will try to form the 5 or 6 membered ring. That is the major product. Other ring formation will give you the minor products. For example, we have this nona 2,8 dione, and in the presence of acid, enol, two enols can be formed. This is the more stable enol, and this is the less stable enol, because alkene is less substituted. So once this enol will form, so if this enol will react with the carbonyl compound, so what it will form? It will form a 8 membered ring. And if internal alkene will react, then it will form a 6 membered ring. So wherever you will get a 6 membered ring formed product, that is the major product. Clear? How you will decide the product? Based on the ring size. If ring size is 6 or 5 membered ring, that is more stable and it is the major product. If 4 membered ring, 3 membered ring, or 8 or higher membered rings are forming, that will be give you the less stable product. Okay,
Okay,
let's
ma'am.
go on the questions. So this is the first question. Which combination of carbonyl compounds gives phenyl vinyl ketone by an aldol condensation? We will write product for all the options. So take your time and write product for all the options and tell me in which case you will get this phenyl vinyl ketone. Mechanism you already know. In the presence of base, you can do this reaction.
And ma'am, option A.
Option
A. First.
A. Okay, correct. So let us see. We have only one
Option.
enolizable carbonyl compound, this one. So base will abstract this proton and this enolate will generate first, right? And this on reaction with formaldehyde, this will form. Then again base will take the proton and through even Cb mechanism you will get this phenyl vinyl ketone. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now in the case of second one, you will what you will get, self condensation product as the major product or cross condensation? In one case you have acetaldehyde, and other case you have ketone.
Self condensation,
Self condensation, because this aldehyde is more reactive.
more
Then in the
electrophilic.
next
Yeah, more
case,
reactive. Gross aldol product will get.
cross aldol product you will get. Here some amount of self condensation product will you will also get, but cross condensation will happen. Then in the last case,
I think reaction can't occur.
yeah, here no aldol reaction will take place because no alpha protons was there. Okay. Then what is the final product of the given reaction via silyl enol ether intermediate? So firstly, base will abstract the proton and it will react with silyl TMSCl. So it will form this silyl enol ether. Now, in the presence of TiCl4 and this benzaldehyde, what and after hydrolysis, what will be the major product? Which option is correct?
Is it option B?
Option A,
Option B.
B.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. Okay. So what will happen? This benzaldehyde will coordinate with titanium. So then this will attack and this will form. Then Cl negative will attack this silicon to neutralize the positive charge. And again Cl negative will attack on this titanium and this O negative will attack on silicon. So you will get first this OSIMe3, and then in the presence of water you will get your product beta hydroxy ketone. So the correct option is option second. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the next question is predict the major product of the following reaction. You have benzaldehyde and you have this ketone and you are treating it with base and then hydrolysis. Give me your answers.
Option C.
Option C or D?
Just a minute, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Option D. Sorry.
Option D, transalkene will form. Right after enolate formation, this enolate will react with benzaldehyde and then this aldol product we will get. Now we are doing acidic hydrolysis. So in case of acidic hydrolysis, first protonation will take place and then after elimination, you will get the transalkene as the major product. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Next question is when two molecules of benzaldehyde are treated with concentrated KOH to get one oxidized product and other reduced product. So the reaction is called as
Cannizzaro reaction.
Cannizzaro reaction. Correct. How this reaction is taking place? We are doing this reaction in base. So your base will react the carbonyl carbon and we will get this O negative, OH and H. Then again base will take this proton to form the dianion. And then this dianion will react with other molecule of benzaldehyde in such a way that it get reduced by the hydride attack. So we will get C double bond O, O negative, K positive and CH2OH, or this after protonation we will get the acid. So one product get oxidized and other product get reduced. So that is how these product will formed and the reaction we will call it as Cannizzaro reaction. Clear? Next is consider the following intramolecular aldol condensation reaction. You have to find out X. Which of these compounds will give you the product? Write product for every options and try to find out in which case you will get the product.
Option C.
Option C, correct. So we have to break this alpha beta unsaturated ketone bond, and one side you have CH2 and other side you have ketone. If you have confusion in this one, try to write product for every reaction and then you will get. So in this case, anion can generate here or anion can generate here. Now in one case, if this will react, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8-membered ring. And if the second one will react, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-membered ring. And here 6-membered ring is forming. So this is the that internal enolate or more stable enolate will react to give you this product. So we can write it. So this enolate will generate first and it will revert back to give you this product first, and then base will take this proton, enolate will generate through even CB mechanism, and you will get your product. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Then the next question is, what is the major product of the following reaction? So you have this diketone and you are treating it with base and then heating it. Heating it means dehydration. Whenever we are using higher temperature, so dehydration product is the major product. So base will abstract the proton. So it can abstract this alpha proton or this alpha proton. Now which one is less hindered? Among A and B, which one is less hindered?
A.
A. So base will abstract the proton from this side, or it can take from the C also. But if it will abstract from the C, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-membered ring will form. And if it is taking from the third position, or sorry, from the A side, and then this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-membered ring will form. So which one is the major? 6-membered
5.
ring or sorry, 5-membered ring or 7-membered ring?
5-membered ring.
5-membered ring. So we will write both the products. After this enolate formation, you will get this one. And then through even CB mechanism, we will get this as the major product. And if other side it will attack, here this methyl is there. Then it will form 7-membered ring. And after loss of proton, so you will get this product. Now, 7-membered ring is less stable than 5-membered ring. So this is major and other one is minor. So the correct option is option C. Sorry, B. This one. Clear?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Next is aldehydes and ketones react with alpha bromo esters in the presence of zinc to form beta hydroxy
Beta hydroxy
esters.
ester. Oh, okay.
This we already see. So the correct option is option A.
And
Mechanism
this
we
is
already see.
reformatory reaction, am I right? Like there will be
Reformatory.
transmethylation reaction taking place, and then this C will get negative charge and it will attack the aldehyde, and then it will form beta hydroxy esters.
Correct. Zinc enolate will form in this. Okay. Then identify A and B to complete the given reaction sequence. Now, A and B is between A, this first and second. Whether your aldehyde will react or your ketone will react. So, what is the first step? First, zinc will react with alpha bromo ester. I'm writing it as R. So, zinc will give electrons to oxygen. This will shift here and this will go. So, you will get this OZN positive. Then Br negative is there that will react with zinc. So we will get this zinc enolate. OZNBr. Then this will react with, it can react with aldehyde and it can react with keto. Now if this will react with aldehyde, then you will get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 like here if you will see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. One, two, three, four, five. Five atoms are there in the side chain. If reaction is taking place at aldehyde, in this case, 6 carbons are there in the ring. But if aldehyde will react, then we will get one more extra carbon that is not there in this system. In this case, 6 carbon atoms are there. In this, 7 carbon atoms are there. And in your product, you will have 5 carbons that are coming or 5 atoms that are coming from side chain and 6 carbon from the ring. So that means it should be a ketone, not the aldehyde that will react. So then this zinc enolate will react with your ketone to form the beta hydroxy ester. And then after the loss of proton, this water, you will get this compound, dehydration compound. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
So the intermediate that will generate in between, so this ketone also will react with zinc, it coordinate with zinc. So before this, your this ketone will coordinate with zinc, and here it is bromide, here it is oxygen, and this is enolate. So then this will shift here, this will go here, and this will form bond. So the intermediate that will generate is OZNBr, and here this is COOCH3. So the intermediate that is formed, that is B, is your fifth. So this is fifth and A is second. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. Then write the correct order of reactivity of substituted benzaldehydes with acetophenone in the presence of NaOH. So these are the substituted benzaldehydes you have given. You have to find out the correct order, and order you will decide on the basis of electrophilicity. So which benzaldehyde is more electrophilic, and which one is less?
Option C, ma'am.
Option C.
Option
Correct.
C.
So this nitro group is electron withdrawing group.
Withdrawing group.
Methyl is electron donating group through plus I. Methoxy is also electron donating through plus R, and this is minus R. And benzaldehyde does not have any group. So this implies when electron withdrawing groups will be there, it will pull the electron density from the carbonyl carbon and make it more electrophilic. So electron withdrawing group increases electrophilicity of carbonyl carbon. And electron donating group decreases electrophilicity of carbonyl carbon. So the correct order is A, then when no group was there, then less electron withdrawing donating group, and least is most electron donating group. So correct option is C. Then last question is the major product for the reaction given below. You have this ketone and you are treating it with LDA. So first tell me through which side aldol reaction enolate will generate. LDA is a bulky base. So it will abstract proton from
Methylene carbon.
Less substitution.
less substituted side.
Less substituted. Yeah.
So enolate that will generate, we can write it as this hydrogen. It will abstract first, it will coordinate with lithium, and then nitrogen will take this proton and enolate will generate. So this lithium enolate will form. Then it will react with benzaldehyde to give you this product, a hydrated product. So you will get this OH and this pH. Dehydration will not take place because LDA is bulky and it is not able to take the alpha proton further. Clear?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay. That's all for today. You can leave now. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, will the session?
Yeah. Through link you can access. And YouTube channel also, that link will be provided.